Good morning. Just a quick little thought while I'm in the cozy nook. Your homework for today is to look up the definition of determinism and fatalism. 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 In a nutshell, fatalism and determinism. Look them up and see how they apply in your life. It occurred to me as I was going through something that I might have a little bit of determinism and fatalism in me. Now, they're philosophical theories that go like this: that you have no control over things, and that things are supposed to be, when things happen, it's because they're supposed to happen. Your will had nothing to do with it. It was supposed, I guess, when people say, well, I guess it was supposed to be. And a lot of times that's an excuse for failure. It's an excuse to avoid hardship, pain, intensity in your life. For instance, one of the things that I was going through recently was working hard to get my Florida hair license. And there have been some roadblocks that I've overcome one at a time. And what's interesting is, at any one of those little roadblocks, as far as gathering of credentials and different things were rejected. Like, oh, we can't accept that. And I'm like, all right, is this just red tape? This actually went through my mind. Is this just a bunch of bureaucratic red tape bullshit? Or am I really supposed to go to Florida? I got philosophical for a second. Like, maybe I'm just not supposed to go. Maybe I'm just not supposed to do that. Or you think like, well, maybe I'm being tested. Get that crap out of your head. You play a huge role in everything in your life. If you act within the realm of love and your motives are right, I honestly believe that you are in control of everything. When you do stupid stuff, then other people are in control of your life. For instance, if you do something criminal and you end up in jail or being arrested or sentenced or fined or whatever, then someone else is in control of your life. If you meet somebody and you're head over heels, but it's kind of like the wrong person, then guess what happens? Someone else is in control of your life. So for me, back to the hair thing, back to me, I'm not assigning special meaning to my hardships. What I'm not doing is I'm not going to give up on anything because something got tough on me, because there was a roadblock. And about 2 months ago, I heard someone say, and it's not original with me, they said, stop using the word problems. Replace the word problems with the word challenges and watch how things change. That blew me away because I was a guy that actually used the word problem. The word problem came out of my mouth. And when you think problem, you instantly think roadblock or wall in front of you. When you think challenge, you think mountain. That's something you can climb. I can scale that wall. I can move up a little bit at a time. And I would never come to the conclusion, well, maybe it just wasn't supposed to be. So I'm completing these requirements to go to Florida. My father, my family, we're from New York, and my family moved to Florida when I was in college. So what's interesting is my dad, who cuts hair, and mom, who cuts hair, they just basically transferred, this is 30 years ago, transferred their licenses to Florida. Literally, made a phone call, paid a small fee, got the Florida license. Now, certifications, background checks, HIV/AIDS courses, just the hurdles that you have to go through to transfer your license. And I ran into a couple things that seemed a little bit difficult. And what's interesting is some of the old way of thinking came into play, where I said, kind of like the Houston, we have a problem here. And I actually, for a second, I was tempted to think, maybe I am not supposed to go there. Maybe I'm supposed to stay in Philly. And I thought that for a day. And I smacked myself a couple times and said, dude, you are succumbing to old thought patterns, fatalism, determinism, that you have nothing to do with the outcome of things. Well, you have a lot to do with the outcome. You play a role in everything in your life. Now, you might not be able to control what happens to you, but you can control your response to things that happen to you. You get it? I had a professor in grad school years ago. I got to look the guy up. I forget what his name is. Incredible guy. Took so much time with me because I don't have the kind of brain that figures things out right away. Things have to be knocking at the door inside my brain before I let them in. And I would go to his office and we would talk about things to make sure that I would pass the test. And I put in some extra work, and I wrote some papers in that class that were pretty. He actually rejected my final paper, and I had to go back and rewrite it. And it worked, and then I did quite well in the course. The course was advanced personality, like a higher level psych course. One of the things that we talked about was the meaning of lightning in different cultures. What does lightning, striking, mean to someone in Australia as opposed to somebody in a primitive civilization who lives in a jungle? Throughout the years, throughout centuries, people have written and communicated, either written or communicated through oral tradition, the meaning of lightning. And it's always this external thing. It's never random. People even today in our culture, we equate lightning with judgment. For instance, someone's saying or doing something stupid or blasphemous or like whatever. Just pick something, radical. And what do the friends say? They go, man, I'm getting away from you. Lightning is going to strike. Why would people say that? It's interesting. Even in modern culture, 21st century, where people are still saying that. Why is that? Because there's something else happening. External events affect your life, and you have no control over the outcome. That sun is now reflecting in a weird way, so let me just move this. Okay, that's not going to work. It's because I'm not up before the sun now. But I had this on my mind. So your homework today is look up fatalism and determinism. And the ultimate goal is to remove it from your thinking. But I want you to figure out where it has played a role in your life and what you can do to eliminate it. It's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. And I guarantee you, everybody has a little bit of fatalism and determinism in their lives. Check it out. I hope this is an interesting homework assignment for you. I know it was for me. Thanks.